Just seeing your Facebook profile may no longer be enough for that employer who's considering your job application. Reports surfaced recently about employers demanding applicants' Facebook passwords.
If you were to ask me for my Facebook password, that's like asking for the keys to my house, and that just feels a little off limits to me.
Hal Thomas, a content manager for BFG Communications, says companies may feel justified asking for the information, but he says it sets a potentially dangerous precedent.
You're really giving them kind of carte blanche to go in and look at anything that they want to.
Not only are your photos and friends on display, but looking at your full profile could give employers access to tidbits like your race, marital status, and other information that's protected by federal law. Dr. Becky DeCruz is a criminal justice professor at Armstrong Atlantic State University.
If they are going into Facebook or other social media to find that information out, and that would be a reason that they're not hiring you, that would open them up to liability.
If you give out your password, you're also violating Facebook's terms of service, and so is the employer for asking for it. But some may feel they don't have a choice to get the job they want.
A mere request may feel coercive to someone in this job market, and they might feel like I have to provide that in order to get a job.
Facebook monitoring may not end when you're hired or even at your own profile. Jessica Munch-Dittmar found that out when a post on her husband's page was called to her boss's attention.
He told me what happened. Somebody had complained and asked me to pull up not only my Facebook page, but also my husband's, so luckily I knew my husband's password.
She showed both profiles, fearful of losing her job, but questioned why her husband was involved.
I had nothing to hide, but like my husband doesn't even work there. His only relationship to my job is through me.
Experts believe similar violations of privacy will become more common until lawmakers and the court system get involved.
This new phenomenon of checking them through with their passwords and usernames is quite scary.
At 18 years old, Joe Watkins was full of life, a promising student and athlete, ready to fulfill his dream of playing baseball in college.
At one time he said he didn't know what would be life without baseball.
But Joe's life would be tragically cut short. In November, he was badly hurt in this horrific crash just yards from his family home.
We still miss him, pretty much every day or so, but we're able to continue our lives and do things like that. That's what he would have wanted.
As Joe lay in a coma, friends attended a prayer vigil, but they also turned online for comfort. A friend set up a Caring Bridge website with constant updates about his condition. Another set up this Facebook page with almost 500 fans. A week later, Joe died, and both sites transformed into living memorials. Reading the messages and seeing the pictures and things like that?
Oh yeah, it hurts though. I mean, it's still very painful for me.
Joe's brother Richard and his mom Jan say they're thankful for the love and support delivered in person and online.
I've met a lot of people and I feel like I know them, and it's helped with my grieving, definitely. Definitely that people care.
As social media has become a bigger part of life, it's also now part of death, allowing people to share their grief and get support. But psychologist Michelle Aycock says the digital world can lead to some less than sympathetic ears.
Social media has kind of taken away that face-to-face interaction and gives people more permission to say whatever they want to say, whether it's appropriate or respectful.
That's a big reason why she says social media can have a negative effect on the grieving process.
You have to be very careful about the information that you put out there, because you never know what other people who aren't as respectful may do with that information.
But the information age is difficult to escape, even for a funeral industry that's slow to embrace change.
We've gone from an industry that used no technology whatsoever, really, in terms of today's, to an industry that's trying to kind of catch up with the rest of the world.
Jeffrey Chandler of Fox & Weeks Funeral Directors in Savannah says changes started with the online obituary and continue to grow.
We'll have folks come in and we'll actually just plug up the deceased iPod and play some songs that they loved, and that just makes the service more personal.
Technology has paved the way for endless options, from coffins to urns, that families can browse with the touch of a button, ways to customize a final resting place.
It's definitely been an evolution.
One company even offers headstones with a QR code that smartphone users can scan, leading to a web page about the deceased. Though the options seem endless, Chandler says it's important not to lose sight of the job at hand.
We can have all the technology in the world, but if we're not good at comforting people and listening to people's needs and caring for people, then we're not doing our job.
And as their healing continues, Joe Watkins' family is finding comfort from these online tributes, showing that he hasn't been forgotten.
It's good to see him, see that people still care about him and that he's living on through them.
Tuquyen Mach, WSAV News 3. Cell phones long ago ceased to be a luxury and became something we can't leave home without. But even when your device is idle or off, it's sending information about your location to a cell phone tower every 7 seconds. But access to that information isn't limited to your cell phone carrier.
Police and the government can use that ping to track your whereabouts. There is no expectation of privacy in carrying that cell phone.
Savannah attorney Bates Lovett with Hunter McLean says carriers can give out this information without your knowledge or permission, and in some cases without a court order.
They can pull your text messages. They can pull your search history. Those are the types of data and information that they're being able to pull off now that, again, they don't always need a warrant for.
U.S. cell phone companies are now getting more demands for your data than ever before. 9 U.S. carriers responding to questions from a Massachusetts congressman reported getting more than 1.3 million requests for data from law enforcement in 2011 alone. There's no denying cell phone data is useful and often essential for investigators working to solve crimes. But privacy advocates question whether law enforcement is being allowed too much leeway with what should be protected information.
They're actually just going after one person, but they end up getting information on everybody who had been around a cell phone tower during a certain amount of time. So even though they're only investigating one person, they now have information on hundreds or thousands of people.
Experts say the problem is the law hasn't kept up with technology.
That's certainly an issue that legislatures are taking into consideration now, is what level of requirement must the government go through to get that type of information.
A bill called the GPS Act that would require warrants for the data stalled in the U.S. Senate. Representative Jack Kingston says he believes it's time for Congress to act.
There should be a very high firewall in terms of personal information and what can be done with that information, who gathers that information, who sells, who buys that information.
Until regulations are in place, remember that what you do with your cell phone is more public than you think.
Your expectation of privacy and what you and I would think of as private is just not the same thing as what the government thinks of as privacy.
Privacy, the price of technology at your fingertips. Tuquyen Mach, WSAV News 3.